I'm here again, and it's FLIPSIDE. We talk about all kinds of social issues, and we look for as much solutions as we can give. Today we're going to be talking about interfaith harmony. Interfaith harmony, a cure or an antidote to religious violence. Tomorrow, which is the 22nd day of August 2019, is the International Day for the remembrance of victims of violence based on religion. Whether we like it or not, Middle East and some parts of Africa are dealing with religious violence, and I'm talking about thousands, hundreds of thousands of people have lost their lives because they do not believe in a certain religion or because they believe in another. But there must be a way to cap this trend. There must be a way to serve this. The United Nations seem to be preaching that we all should practice interfaith, or some people call it multi-faith. Can that work? And what exactly does this mean? My name is Daisy Abaisab, and you're hosting today's edition of the show FLIPSIDE. And today we're talking about interfaith harmony, an antidote to religious violence. I have a pastor with me in the house, a clergy man. I have Reverend Friday Atamiwai. Good to have you on FLIPSIDE today.
Good to be here. Good to be here.
And we're also expecting a Muslim scholar, so hopefully you will be able to join us before the show ends, and then we can have a more balanced talk. But now, Sheikh and one Muhammad from Jordan decided to talk about this interfaith. It's actually becoming a big deal that they have a full week for interfaith dialogue by the United Nations every February now, since 2010. So the idea is to make people practically be multi-faith people. No matter the religion you practice, we're all one, which is a good thing to be one. But it means that I, as a Christian, can pick up the Quran and go to the mosque and fellowship with them. And the Muslim man can decide to say, okay, today I'm going to church. And even if he's wearing everything, we welcome him to church, and he's with us. It doesn't mean he has we would not really have a particular religion. We're all practicing all religion and all that. So, and they say when this is brought as something we all should embrace, this case of violence because of religion will cease, because we are all practicing the religions together. Do you think that's a smart idea, and will it work?
Thank you. I don't think it's a smart idea, but let's go to the basis of the interfaith thing. That word interfaith, the dictionary definition of it says that is the coming together of different people of different religion for the purpose of peace, of unity. But it goes beyond that. It's for us to understand our differences, because the religions are different, and also to understand our similarities. There are similar things in all the religion. Okay? So the interfaith that I will subscribe to will be the one that we all come together. It's not the one you come to, a Muslim come to the church today, or a Christian come to the mosque. No, it can't work. It's not to have one religion. We can't have one religion. Even in a family, for example, all the children are not one parent, but the children are different. They believe different things, they practice different things. So we can't have a religion where everybody will be one. It's not possible. It's not possible. But we can strengthen our similarities. I'll tell you, if the Quran man was here, or somebody of another faith was here, he will tell you that the Quran, they preach peace. In Christianity, we preach peace. Do you understand? So that's the similar thing among the religion. We talk about charity. Quran talks about charity. Give alms to the poor. Quran believes in the dignity of life. The Christian faith, the Bible believes also in the dignity of life. We should respect the dignity of the human life. Now, these are the things, the area where we are similar. And if we strengthen those areas, there will be peace. There will be less violence in our society. But that's not what is happening in our society today. The problem we have today is not religion, really. I will tell you, it's not religion. It's not religion. Because if it was religion, then that person who says he believes in a God, because religion is the belief, it's a set of belief on a supernatural being that controls the earth. It's a belief and also a practice. If you have a belief, a set of belief, you also practice that lifestyle of your belief. My belief does not permit me to destroy life. Jesus summed it up in Matthew. He said, the entire law is this: love the Lord thy God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul. And then he said, love your neighbor as yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself. So you discover that if I believe in God and I'm living in that light and I love my neighbor as myself, I won't harm my neighbor, I won't defraud my neighbor, I won't do anything evil against my neighbor. So that's where we should focus on. Yes, we should talk love. What is similar in all religion? That's what we should talk about.
Okay, so Reverend Friday, we're going to go on a break quickly. For those who just joined us, the program is Flipside, and I said we're expecting a Muslim scholar is already here. So we're going to go on a break, and you'll see him shortly. So stick around. All right, so before the break, I said we're expecting someone, my guest, to complete right now, and we're talking about interfaith harmony, an antidote to religious violence. Is he really the antidote to religious violence? Before the break, you met Reverend Friday Atamewa, and now I have within the house Alhaji Yusuf Bako. Good to have you here.
Pleasure.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're talking about interfaith harmony, and many people are saying interfaith in the way the UN means it is we'll practice multi-faith. I'm a Christian, but I do things Muslims do. When it's Salah, I do Salah. I go to the mosque. I study the Quran. My kids learn both religion. You're a Muslim, you do same. Everybody just lives in peace because we are now together. We all do the same things. And if we continue in that line, there'll be peace in the world. Now, I asked Pastor Reverend Friday before you came in, and he was saying that's going to be difficult. If we're going to be emphasizing on the similarities and our differences, maybe it won't still be enough, but we should preach love and tolerance. But I'm going to ask you this question. Do you agree with him?
Yeah, to some great extent, I do agree with him. Okay. Good afternoon, viewers. First of all, we have to look at the basics. The basics is religion, and religion is mostly defined around the concept of love. To that extent, yes, we could live together, we could tolerate each other, we could do a lot together to be able to achieve peace. But the foundation of religion will make that definitely impossible, because there are different doctrines, there are different beliefs, and at any particular time, within the small microcosm of a family, there will be misunderstanding because you preaching your own doctrines and I preaching my own doctrines. Definitely there will be a clash somewhere. And to a larger extent, that extends to the entire community. So I think if our definition of religion is love, well, yes, to some extent it could cover all other areas, but it has some limitations.
Okay, I'm thinking, should we just have a new religion we just call love religion? Forget Christianity, forget Islam, forget Buddhism, forget every other thing. Because many people are saying that religion is a source of violence, and we know people have killed for religion's sake, whether the religion sent them or not, but they're doing it and they feel justified in their act. Shouldn't we just scrap religion? If we scrap religion, would the world be better or worse off? Not forgetting that most of the countries where we have more peace than wars, they hardly even believe in God. So I'm going to ask you, Pastor.
Okay. Even the countries who say they don't believe in God, that's a religion in itself.
Yes.
That's a religion. See, religion is a set of belief. Whatever you believe, whether you believe in God, you don't believe in God, that's already a religion. Do you understand? That's already a religion. But what does your religion teach you? It is what your religion teaches you. If you practice it, like I was telling you before my colleague came in, you will discover that every religion preaches peace. Go and read all of them. I've been privileged to read many of them. So all the religion will tell you peace. All the religion will tell you to have respect for human life. All the religion will tell you to do alms, to give to the poor, charity. All the religion teaches that. The problem we have in the world is that people do not follow their sets of belief, their convictions. That's the truth. They don't follow it properly because no religion tells you to destroy the human life. No religion preaches that. None.
Okay. Now I'm thinking, what ways has religion benefited us as a nation, Nigeria? Alhaji Bako, what's the benefit of having religious
before I answer that, we'll first of all have to look at religion versus those who practice religion.
Okay.
Suffices to say that you have two gentlemen here who have climbed to the heights of their religion, but when there was no us, when there was no Christianity and Islamic religion, there was a religion.
African tradition.
Probably what we now refer to as the ATR. And what makes it so unique? What makes it practicable? Because the people believed. They fear that if you swear by Ogu, the cutlass, you will die by a motor accident if you don't obey what you have sworn to. There are certain things like that that makes that era unique to itself. Those of us who now became adherents to Christianity and Islamic religion, the question is, do we adhere to the teachings of those religions? If we do, then of course there will be peace. Because like my colleague said, no religion said, go take arms and kill the next person. It's not there. It's not my own. And I'm sure it's not their own. And every religion preaches love. That is, do unto other what you wish to be done unto you. It's the same basic principle in both religions. Every religion teaches us that, look, there is an existence of a being who controls us without our inanimate reactions. We do what he wants us to do, except what we have decided on our own to do outside what he wants us to do, which of course will be answerable to on the day of judgment. These are common beliefs. And based on this, then it will be difficult to say that there will be peace without religion. But the reverse is the case, because there are people who profess religion but do not practice the religion. And this is where we have the problem. If you actually profess a religion and you practice religion, then you will become an example without necessarily carrying a microphone to shout and preach. You become a living example to those who have seen you, and they will want to live like you. And by extending the peace omen to your fellow man, that one will do so to the next person. Before you do it, the peace that we are looking for will engulf the entire community. But the religion cannot be left out of the existence of man. No country can survive without religion. Like my brother has said, if you say you don't even believe in God, that's religion in itself. So you cannot exist without religion. It has to be part of our life to be able to coordinate ourselves. Otherwise, we live worse than the era of the early man.
Okay, so the benefits are enormous. There's peace, there's love.
Yeah, it makes you a better person. Religion makes you a better person. That's the honest truth.
Really?
Religion makes you a better person. If you actually practice, see, if not religion, we would have had a lot of hopeless people around the world. But religion gives you hope, tells you there's a better tomorrow, even if you're suffering today. What I practice tells you there's a better tomorrow. So you don't kill yourself today. You know that there is a better tomorrow. You have a hope for tomorrow, for a better tomorrow.
Okay, but now talking about this better tomorrow, this heaven and hell that almost all religion teaches about. We can't see it. There's no proof of it. We just believe it. I mean, it almost seems like the issue of condemnation, eternal condemnation, is like a blackmail to control what you do and how you act.
Okay, let me take it from there. Now, if I may ask you, when did you decide to become a lady? When did you decide that?
I didn't decide.
To bear your name?
My parents gave me the name.
Okay. To work in ITV? You work towards
No, we decided that. You decided that.
Yes, I'm coming. I'm making a point. I'm making a point. Now, the first one is you did not decide to, you didn't know how you became a human being before you even decide your sex. That was done by something, nature, whatever you call it. And in fact, for giving you life, you need to be obedience for that, something that makes you to become alive. That is what we refer to as religion, some of us. That, okay, somebody created us, somebody created the universe that we are, but you on your own decided that you want to go to school because you want to read and decide to work in ITV. The essence is that at the end of the day, something will come into your pocket as a reward. This is the content of heaven and hell. You were created by a human being. You have no control over what happened that you were created. But when you were not find yourself created, as you grow up, it begins to give you guidelines, which is religion. Do this, don't do this. And if you do everything it asks you to do, there will be peace. If you go against those things it asks you not to do, we ask you to do, or we ask you not to do, there will be chaos. And this is where we make our choices. And after that, the same person now, it's not a blackmail. You can say, well, if you do the right thing,
yeah, there's a reward for it.
Like if you walk well, you get flour at the end of the month.
Yes.
I will reward you at the end of the day. But if you also practice what I ask you to practice, which will now cause chaos in the world, you will also get the reward. It's not blackmail at all. Even in this world, you see people who live what we call, some other religion call the law of karma. You do something, you must have forgotten about it. Sometimes it comes back to you, and something will remind you that, probably it's what I have done that I'm now reaping the fruits.
So in Christianity, Jesus said something very profound. He said, because we follow his teachings, he said, I'm going to prepare a place for you. And he said, afterwards, you will join me in that place. And for all those who follow the teaching of Jesus, they will end up with him in heaven. It's not a blackmail. For all those who do not follow the teaching of Jesus, what is the teaching of Jesus?
That's it.
Just one word, broken down into two parts. Number one, he said, love God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. If you follow this, you will be with me in heaven. If you don't do this, you will be with me in hell. It is because we do not follow these teachings. That is where we are having violence today. Nations, you see that there are peace. It's not that we don't have these different sets of religion there. It is their government and the policies in those nations that create for peace. Outside this country, if you do this, you will get this reward. So people are afraid. If you beat the traffic light, this is what the punishment you will get. Even when the policeman is not by the road, the traffic is already there. If you beat it, you get the punishment for beating the traffic light. But yeah, if I beat the traffic light, who is going to punish me? That's the truth. Because the government should come up with policies to deal with violence. Violence will cease. Once we have those policies that will deal with violence, violence will cease in our land. In those days, what was making people to follow faith properly? They don't steal. I grew up in days where if you come to a man's farm, you can't take his mango. You can only pluck one. And you will say, it is not stealing, I'm hungry, so you pluck one. You don't pluck more than one. It's not your own. You pluck only one. But today, I see what does not belong to me, I take it. Is it religion that says I should take it? Your religion says you should not steal, but yet you have stolen. And if government makes laws that makes for a thief to be punished justly, you will discover that people won't steal anymore. If government makes policies and violence is dealt with, no sentiments into it, violence will cease in our land. That's the truth. So,
well, in addition to that, you see, we are prone to violence because of the economic situation we find ourselves. This has nothing to do with religion. Because if provisions are made at a particular time, at a particular level, for every age and group, then there will be less violence. Some of these violence we see, even though they try to connote them as religious violence, they didn't start with religious violence. They started with something else that has economic connotations or tribal connotations or thereabout. Then invariably you now fall back to become what you call religious violence. And it's when you want to kill a dog, you give it a very bad name. That's what it is. So everybody feel that, oh, it is more reliable to call it religious violence, and everybody will queue into it. Before you know it, it becomes a very wide-blown fire. I'll give you an example. In my religion, if you steal, they cut off your hand. People say, no, why? Why? It's to remind you that you have done something that is very, very bad, so that you will not go about it again. And the essence is that you should not ever go and steal, knowing that you will lose your hand for doing that. If you are caught committing adultery, we need 4 able-bodied, reliable persons to prove, to witness that you were caught. You will be stoned to death. And we say this is Sharia. But you see, God made provision for those things so that you will not, you see, you are making love to a woman. Will you say, come and look at me, come and look at me, look at you, make 4 people. But then we still put those laws so that at least it will prevent you. This is religion. It's not to strangulate you. It's to prevent you from going into act of vandalism, out of stupidity, out of uselessness, so that you can become a perfect human being. Then if after all this provision you still go ahead and do what is wrong, you are your own. But again, like I said, if the government, like he said too, had made provision for youth level, put them in school, they are all trained, they graduate from there, they got jobs, or get them engaged in meaningful things, there will be less. Those countries that you are thinking that there's less violence, visit them. I have been to Saudi Arabia, I have been to Israel. These are the headquarters of some of these religions. But you see that the police there don't carry arms, but people respect them. Because the laws
They are there.
Are there
The laws
in
are
addition with the religion that they practice, and it works. But here, with the police carrying arms, you still don't have respect for him.
Okay, now, talking about religion now, we've agreed that interfaith is not the key. Neither is scrapping religion the key.
Yeah.
Faith, we should have love, we should pray charity, we should also government should make policies and violence will cease.
Yeah.
But I'm going to ask this question. Sometime in the United States, that's the former President Barack Obama. Yeah. He scrapped the prayers during assembly. And, you know, America used to be very known for the Christianity, God bless America, and all that. So he stopped a whole lot of things and said they should be teaching the children patriotism. That's Christianity per se. But I'm going to ask right now, do you think teaching religion in schools are going to benefit us? We have churches, we have mosques where they basically teach these doctrines and principles. You just finished, okay, so let me start with you. Do you think we should be teaching religion in schools? Why?
How many children come to the churches or go to the mosque? But every child is having the right to go to school. Religion should be taught in school, but we cannot teach it in one subject. That's why I was telling you that interfaith that I will subscribe to is the one you allow me practice my faith, you practice your faith, but we have a common ground where we can work together. Teach the IRS in school, teach the CRS in school, teach the African stuff in school. For the child who wants to learn them, let them go ahead and learn them. After all, when you're going to take a course, you decide the course which to take. Let it be taught in our schools. In teaching it in our schools, we are already teaching values also to our children in the school. We are teaching them values. A lot of people went against it in America, for example. Did it help them? Did it make America better? It didn't. Did it make America better? No. Teach my child, if my child believes in the Christian faith, teach him CRS. Let him learn that. Let him learn it in school with the other core values that should be taught. If the child likes IRS, let her be taught that or him be taught that. Let's teach religion in our schools. I was taught religion in my school because in my school, we were taught okay, it was BK those days. It was BK those days. Yes, we were taught BK in school. It helped us. That you shouldn't steal. That's what the values they teach in school. Is not those are not what they don't teach any other thing more than that. You should not kill. You should not commit adultery. You should not defraud your neighbor. Those are the values that were taught in our school, and we grew up like that. So we should not remove the teaching of religion from our schools.
Okay. I think in addition to that, I will differ a little, but I say I agree with you that religion should be taught in school. But I think in our own environment, in the Nigeria situations, I want to say that religion teaching should be embedded. That is, it should not be divided. It should be religion. And in that religion, every child will have access to what you call the Islamic religion and the Christian religion. There are common values. There are common values in these religions that need to be taught to our generations that are coming, so that it will unite us the more. And we lay less emphasis on areas of differences. For example, we should lay less emphasis on the areas of the Godism and all that sort, and begin to think about the issues of love, the 10 Commandments in short. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt love thy neighbor, thou shalt love thy God, that. And you see, all these value, we make our children to grow up and become religion and not fanaticisms. And because even though I agree that we should teach religion in our school, in some sectors, fanaticism is being taught rather than teaching religion. So you see that people, instead of us to concentrate on this core value that will benefit us as both religion, we are now telling you how much you should hate the next person of other religion.
When we were taught, when we were taught BK or IRS in those days, we were not taught fanaticism. You see, you can't tell us to embed.
That's what I say. In the modern situation,
we cannot put all religion into one subject. It will work.
Okay, because now
it will work.
I'm not saying one subject.
Yes. What they're proposing.
I'm not saying put them into one subject. I'm saying let the children have access to attend the class of CROS and attend the class of IRS. And then there should be, the syllabus should be able to leave the areas of controversies and come down to the areas of teaching values that will benefit us.
Okay, so do you think you'd be comfortable with your child, your reverend father, going to school?
No, I'm not the reverend father.
Reverend, sorry, reverend.
I was taught by a Christian. Okay. The man who taught me religion, my own religion, was a Christian, Mr. Igberago.
Yeah.
He was a Christian, but he taught me IRS in my school.
He studied it.
So, of course.
He studied
yes, you'll be comfortable because, now, an adult who is in the university and studies, is easy for you to make decisions at a level. Teenagers are very impressionable. That's why you see a musician sagging on television, and the next day you see your teenage song sagging. They're very impressionable.
Yes.
So, would you be comfortable for your teenage children to do IRS in school?
No. I'll tell you why. No, I'll tell you why.
Okay.
No, let's be frank.
Okay.
This is the problem we have. Let's not deceive ourselves. That's why I tell you, the interfaith that said we can have all one religion, we can have only one religion, it can work. It will work. But in those days, we have missionary schools in those days. They were not teaching IRS in those missionary schools. They were teaching CRA and BK in those days. Then, then we have the IRS being taught in their own schools too. So if my child goes to an Islamic school, my child should be taught IRS in that school. If my child is in a missionary school, my child should not be taught IRS in a missionary school. Look, when we are honest with ourselves, and we know what we want to preach, in the BK those days, I was taught to love my neighbor as myself. A Muslim is not an enemy. Good. A Christian is not an enemy too. I was taught to value the human life. But I was taught, this is my belief, and I was taught if you want to serve God, then you go on doing other things and how you practice your faith and all that. You were taught all that. But in the school, it was just values that were taught. So if we still have our schools going in that form, then there will be no trouble. But the one we are going to now say, okay, I will force a Muslim child now to come and do IRS.
No, not force. No, that. I'm talking about in a government school. In a government school where you have access to these things.
Okay. They should be given options.
Hold on. At the elementary level, they teach the core religion.
Okay.
Let me not use the word Christianity or Islamic now. Even 8-year, teach the core religion. You see, you said something that the children are easy to imbibe. They know more than not at that level. They know what is good and what is bad. And as they grow up, you see, at the university or even at the secondary school level, when you get to the SS level, they say choose your courses. At that level, a child is beginning to say, I like this, I don't like this, I'm dropping this, I'm taking this. But our major problem is that in the modern generations, we find people who are supposed to be teachers of this religion are more concerned with even causing violence, because the topic here is about violence.
Yes.
They are more concerned about
violence.
causing violence within that level, teaching violence at that level. You know, they bring out what is not supposed to be taught from that religion and bring it out to the children so that they can imbibe. And that's why you find as they go out, they begin to think of, oh, this man is a Muslim, is my enemy. This man is a Christian, is my enemy. I agree. Both religions you have the Crusader, the era of Crusader, as you have the era of Jihad. So if we begin to teach the children about this era of Jihad and era of Crusader, you are definitely going to turn out Metesine and more Boko Haram, and then of course, those who will go to the place and just shoot people. Most of them are not Muslims. They are also, part of them are Christians. Okay. But we are saying, let us de-emphasize the issue of violence, and let's take what is good in both religions, or in all the religions, and then, teach them. And why we are emphasizing that, this is not to say that if you are a Muslim, you should not be a Muslim. If you are a Christian, you should not be a Christian. But these are forbidden areas, and these are areas that you are supposed to imbibe. Okay. And with that, we can grow up to become more matured human beings, fear of God, and avoid what is evil, and begin to practice what is good. Okay, now I know if we're going to emphasize on this teaching, because kids are the future. Yes. Yeah. If you don't handle it right now, then you're going to have a problem in the future. We would not live here. But I still have one more question, because before the kids come, there is marriage. Yes. Now, some people, even in Christianity, you might have complications in marrying someone who doesn't believe in your doctrine. Because Christians, we all believe in Jesus, but the way the Catholics fellowship or worship is a little bit different from the way the Pentecostal worships. Yeah. And that's why even in Islam, we have the Muslims, we still have this Shiite group and, and other smaller groups, and they have little differences. But in marriage, when we're preaching marriage and when our kids bring their spouses home, shouldn't we be looking for people who have same value system as they are, instead of looking more into people who have the same religious beliefs with them? Same values or same religion? What's more important for a successful marriage? Same value, same religion. What's the difference between values and religion? That's what you have to look at. I could be moral and I'm not a Christian. Okay. Now, if I am speaking from my own religion, we will definitely not allow our female girls to marry from any other religion, because automatically both religions in the world have said, by the time you get married, you must obey your husband, you must respect your husband, you must follow your husband. Therefore, the moment you as a parent allow your daughter to go and marry another religion, you are automatically saying, I have given you permission to go and become the religion of your husband. So this is our own background. Again, we'll be selfish, because we can marry from you if you want to adhere to my religion. Okay. Yes, like I said, if you want to adhere to my own religion, we can marry from you, and they will begin to teach you the religion of Islam and the values of the religion of Islam. Now, that's why I said, what is the difference between religion and value? Then the question you ask is this: should we be taking more of value than religion? No. No. Because you are not living a life of your own. You are living a life that has been ordained by a being we all refer to as God, and so he has fashioned out how you are going to live that life. And don't forget that marriage is not a matter of girlfriend and boyfriend. If it is boyfriend and girlfriend, we can talk about values. Okay, I accept the way you behave, you accept the way I behave, we can manage it. But it goes beyond that, because we are going to bring up offspring who are children, who will now imbibe what you believe. And values are not what you can transplant. But religion, you can transfer. Transplant, transfer. They are two different things. So if I am a Muslim, I would definitely want my children to be Muslims. And so the woman is the head of the house. I am the head of the family. The man. The woman is the head of the house. Okay. The head, but I'm the head of the family. Okay. And so I'm out all the time. And I'm going to leave my wife to train my children how to become children of God. So if I want to have peace, then of course my wife should be of my religion. Okay, so do you agree with him? No, I'm sorry, you will not agree.
So I will not agree. Well, even in scriptures, the Bible says that we should not be unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
Thank God you agree.
So, but in his case, he said the men can marry.
Yes.
Me, I'm saying the men should not even marry. Yes, you shouldn't marry because that's the beginning of trouble in the home. Marry someone that shares your belief, the same belief with you. Okay. Marry someone that shares the same belief with you. Fortunately, if you have a woman that is very strong and healthy, and you want her to come and support, no, she won't. She'll be going her own way. Yes. They'll chaos in the house. Do you understand? Yes. So marry someone that shares the same belief with you. That's what the scripture says. So if I'm a Christian, I should look for someone who is a Christian, who shares my value, who shares my belief. So that when I say this is how we are going to do it today, nobody is going to say no. We are going in that same direction. That's what we should teach our children. One who shares the same value with you. Okay. But someone who does not share the same value with you doesn't make him your enemy. This is the problem we have in our nation and around the world is that I see someone who doesn't share my value with me as my enemy.
And that shouldn't be.
Look, if our religion leaders emphasize this more. Look, Jesus, one time they told Jesus, even his disciples, they said to Jesus, they said, call down fire to come, because these people they don't believe what we are doing. They are not with us. Jesus said, no.
If I do that, who will now become?
So you don't call down fire to destroy them. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Those who believe in what we believe, go ahead. Praise God for it. Those who do not believe in, they are not your enemy. If I see Bako's life, if I see his life, I see his family, I see that he's doing so well, and I like his life, and I want to join him, why not? If he sees my life, no stress, no violence. If he sees my life, I see my family, I see the way we are doing, he wants to join me, why not? We should not kill ourselves if we don't share the same value.
That's correct. There's no compulsory religion.
Yes.
Okay. We will not leave here today, but we're so sorry that that's the much we're going to take on today's edition of Flipside. But at least in all the discussions we've had all day today, we have agreed that religion is not really the reason why we have as much violence as we are having today. But our government are lax and they are relaxed about making their principles strong and enforcing it. I don't want to go into the fact that to be a president in Nigeria, you have to be a particular religion. Now, for those who are waiting to hear that part, sorry. But I'm hoping that Alhaji Bako will be here today. We'll be talking about the Almajiri, because it's actually becoming a menace if we don't deal with it now. We have a lot of people there and they claim that that's what they are. Maybe they are not. But eventually, we'll talk about this on Flipside too. Thank you so much for watching. If you've missed any part of the show, trust me, you can still catch up on YouTube. The full edition will be there, complete package. You can watch and watch and watch. Leave your comments and reach out to us. Personally, if you want to reach me, you have to use my Instagram account, which is DaisyRich6. Thank you and have yourself an amazing day.